When Raw goes off, turn us on. We are your Monday Night Raw recap show. I am the OG Fig Kid, Thomas Montalto.
And I am the big J-Bone Owski from Coming Down the Aisle. And this is Raw Recap.
What's going on, J-Bone? What'd you think?
Well, to quote a band from the 90s, Boyz II Men, at the end of the road. We're done with Thunderdome. We're out.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
That's probably the biggest takeaway right now.
Yeah.
But it was a decent show. I think it set us up pretty well.
We'll get into more. Let's break it down, and then I'll talk about it at the end about what I feel about the overall show in general. Because, man, it was kind of all over the place. But let's start with the first match. Let's just start with Xavier Woods getting the win over the WWE champion, Bobby Lashley. Love to see it for Xavier Woods. The guy needs a push. I think there's a big one coming for him. But, man, what is it with WWE having their champion lose like 2 out of the last 3 weeks? And we saw 2 champions pin tonight. But what do you think of this match?
Well, actually, I actually enjoyed it. I think it's going to set up I'm hoping anyway, some little feelers down the road. One thing one of my biggest complaints about Raw is that they start off with these long, drawn-out promos. That's one thing I like about AEW, and even NXT has been doing that, is just let's get to some action, right off the bat. I was happy to come. Now they did kind of have a video package, whatever. That's fine, but I like let's just get to it, get to the action. That was a good match, good solid match, good performance by Xavier. Kind of makes you remember. Okay, hey, put that in the back of your mind. Hey, Xavier Woods, pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But
the guy can work. He can wrestle in the ring. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's going to hurt too much. Bobby's too much, that he took the pinfall. Especially, I know we're going to jump forward. We saw the promo at the end. I thought the promo was great at the end of the night. So I think it just kind of adds a little bit of more fire to the story.
Yeah. Let's just jump to the promo at the end of the night. So he loses the match. Lashley loses. He leaves. And what's up, Kenny? We see you there. Thank you for joining us.
Well, Kenny.
He leaves and he comes back for the VIP lounge. He comes out he got a case of the Corbins. He looks sad and and he cuts. We were reminded why MVP has been his mouthpiece, because he's not great on the mic.
I thought it was good though. You
really?
Yeah.
I was disconnected from his promo at the end. Here you are. You got him and MVP have been, so well together. You're going back to live fans, and now you're going to end it. So you're not going to get to have the heat from the fans.
Well, I don't think they've ended it. I don't think that's the end of it. I think it was just a reminder that he is almighty. He's the captain of this part. Look at me. I'm the captain of this pirate ship. That's what I kind of got that. And I thought there was a lot of intensity, a lot of passion that you don't really see out of Bobby Lashley too much. And so I was like, okay, it got me a little jazzed up to see this match. Not that I wasn't already, but just definitely, I thought it was well done how they brought that home. I like how they did it with MP in the VIP lounge. The VIP lounge, no pun intended, was the MVP for the beginning of the pandemic. It brought a lot of it opened up a lot of shows, and when there's no one that could do it, they turned to MVP. So I thought that was also kind of a good way to kind of tie everything, put everything in a bow. And like I said, I just enjoyed the intensity and the passion from Bobby Lashley at the end there. So
I don't know. To me, he just seemed like a guy who lost his puppy or something. He hasn't been the guy that's been on fire and just destroying people that he was up until lately. We got Sneed checking in with us. I
What up?
wish Lashley sounded more mean. His voice doesn't match his physique, and maybe that's what I
Yeah.
got too. That's an excellent point by Sneed. Um, yeah, like I said, he felt like a kid who lost his puppy or something. What would have been cool is if he had destroyed the Thunderdome some he
Right.
destroyed the VIP lounge,
Yeah.
but this is the end of the Thunderdome. Picking
Hmm.
up the couch and tossing it over the rope was pretty impressive, I guess. But again, I just wasn't feeling it. I guess we'll see what's going to happen Sunday with this, and so many different ways it could go. I'd love to see Xavier cost Kofi the match, knowing he could beat Lashley, saying I could beat him, and he wants the title for himself, and that could be their breakup. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't love the VIP lounge. That's just me. Let's move on. So then we move on to the. I guess next was the promo with Jinder and Drew, and who cares?
Right.
It was just I don't care. I just have no interest. I'm not attached.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's clear what they were doing. If you and I are figure fans, obviously.
Yeah,
They have the wrecking bike with Drew on there, and if you look at those pictures of the wrecking bike, it's clear that it was the same bike.
yeah,
But I can't. I'm done with Drew as a babyface. I know
yeah.
he's the spokesperson and whatnot, but there's plenty other people you could put in that spot. I don't think he just there's a disconnect for me as a babyface there. And it's just hard to cheer him when he just does goofy stuff. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I loved when he won the Rumble last year. I thought he was going to go on. He did go on a monster roll. I would have loved to seen him with fans. I hope he gets another shot. But I'm just don't care at this point,
Right.
you know. And I hope he does not win the Money in the Bank match. I don't
I
think
don't
he
think he
will.
will. I don't think he will. No.
So then we move on to a fatal four-way with the women, the four Raw competitors, with Alexa Bliss and Niki, A.S.H, and Asuka and Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
And Alexa Bliss just disappears halfway through the match. It didn't. A lot of times these matches serve a purpose, and somebody comes out looking really strong by the end. I just don't get it. I just didn't feel much there either.
Vanilla
And so,
match.
yeah, it was just there. It was just there. There's not
It
much
was
even to talk
it
about.
was it was decent. I will have to say, I think as of right now, I think I have Nikki Cross as probably at least on the Raw side of favorites to win the Money in the Bank. I don't think she'll win it though, but I know you and Anthony are probably going to do the kind of a Money in the Bank preview. But in my opinion, I think Liv is going to actually probably take the briefcase.
I would love to see Liv win it. I don't. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I would love it if Liv won it because she's been on a roll. She's looking good. She deserves the shot. She's improved so much. But I think Alexa's going to win it. I think that's the way they're going. But I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't hate this whole Alexa thing. I just want it to go somewhere.
I hate it.
It's just stale right now. Let's move on. Okay, so let's go next. We have Ivar facing AJ, and again we get to see the tag team champion AJ Styles getting pinned by Ivar. And I actually, combining the two matches, it showed me that how much the Viking Raiders can work and how good they are being in the ring, and they're just brutal guys if they were allowed to be that. I like the ending of how he squashed AJ, but again, now you got your tag team champion getting pinned. Like, what do your champions mean if you're just going out there and getting pinned?
Yeah, it was again just a setup match, just a boring old Raw match, nothing really to it. I'm ready to see this Omos experiment end, Omos an AJ team. I don't even want to see them break up where they feud. Let's just make it go away.
Dude, I couldn't agree with you more. Almost does nothing for me.
Yeah.
He's not even an entertaining giant or a big guy. Like Braun Strowman when he first came up as with the Wyatt family, he was intimidating and scary. But this almost, I don't know. He just seems
He's
not.
got
I'll be nice. He's not good. I'll be
he,
nice.
he's got some great Kali in him, not as bad, but
Yeah.
it's close.
I
It's
don't
close.
disagree. I mean, my favorite part of those two matches is how good AJ Styles does everything, and him going under to try and lift his arm up. Like that was my highlight of the two matches for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at AJ trying to push this guy, and it's like, wow, this
Yeah.
guy sell. Like he is a company man. That's what you got to say. He's So good for AJ. We love AJ, but it's just my opinion on that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
Completely agree.
So next up, we have Sheamus. Oh, another highlight of the night was during the Money in the Bank promo, seeing getting to hear the Fink announce.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Can never get enough Fink.
Coming down the aisle.
So, and then we go on to Sheamus attacking Humerto Carrillo backstage, and then he squashes him in the ring.
Yeah.
But I guess what that whole thing was serving was to see Damian Priest come out, and I guess they're going to be setting up a program with them, which I think could be very good for Damian Priest.
It could be. And look, Damian Priest is definitely the star out of the two, between him and Humerto. But here's the problem with WWE. This is a perfect example of what's wrong with WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. Okay, you have a young guy in Humerto Carrillo. Okay, by trying to build him up by getting him beat down and then getting squashed. Like, are you serious? Like, okay, you could have had like a little comeback or actually make a match out of it a little bit. Make me, because I kind of had the little inkling in this match. Okay, maybe he'll have like a little fight. He'll come through, and then Sheamus wins on the other side. That's what I was hoping for. And you just had Sheamus just squash him, Daniel Bryan him, 18 seconds gone, and I just. I don't know if it was a time factor or what, but you could have definitely cut some time elsewhere to make this happen, to make it a little bit more of an interesting fight. I'm happy to see Damian Priest in that role, though. I'm hoping, they'll actually, use him to the degree that he needs to be used. I think Damian Priest is a star. Honestly,
I agree.
I think he's a star, but it's just all depending on how they use him, So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably he'll be our next U.S. champion. I'm hoping that's what they were setting up for there
too, as well.
Okay, so let's go on to next is okay, so this is where the first half of the show ended for me. Now we go on to Morrison versus Ricochet in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and it was everything I hoped it would be.
Match of the night,
and Ricochet comes out on top, so his push is continuing, which I love because the guy can work in a ring. We know he's got to work on his promo skills a little bit. Or a lot of it. I'm not gonna lie. I love the guy, but he is hurting on the mic. And if you listen to the Turnbuckle debate today, we had a whole debate on mic skills or in ring work, and we know Ricochet has the in ring work, but will he make it with no mic skills? And,
right? Yeah, you got to have. He just lacks that little bit of charisma, and it's just not quite there. I mean, is he talented in the ring? Obviously, yes. And it just depends on on the performer. A lot of times, I mean, but in this case, he's definitely the mic. I mean, you can be athletic and be great in the ring. I mean, that's almost kind of the easy part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're already athletic. you know, the hard part comes with the mic skills. But I think he lets his in ring carry him over. One thing, I don't know if we talked about it a couple weeks ago or not, but man, I have all the respect in the world for the Miz coming out there, torn ACL, kind of taking half-hearted bumps, if you will, but doing this I guess kind of managerial role, and not that elevates not only himself but John Morrison, because John Morrison could have been floundering right now, and instead he's in the Money in the Bank picture, and Miz is just kind of right there, you know. Then you got the Miz. I think it's brilliant. I don't know if that's more Miz like saying, "Look, let me go out there," or if it's, you know, Vince saying, "Hey, you want to go?" You know, I don't know whose idea it is, but I think it's genius on all fronts, and because it helps his buddy out and helps himself out at the same time. I like the little spot where he's on his back like a turtle, trying to get out. I thought that was entertaining, but a great match overall.
It was a phenomenal match, man. It was, like I said, the match of the night. It was, you know, maybe the best match we've seen on Raw in quite a while.
Yeah.
There was one little misstep that I thought was about to be an amazing move, where they fell off the thing on the side. But wow, but they made up for that. You know, shit happens, and no big deal there.
Right.
Luckily, nobody got hurt. But that was a great match, man. It was everything I hoped it would be. The only thing that makes that match any better is being live in front of fans.
Yes.
Going back to Ricochet, why not? You know, how much would he benefit from being paired with a guy like MVP?
It'd be a heel Ricochet, or just someone that could have a mouthpiece would be really great.
Yeah.
I think they should have pulled that trigger on that a long time ago when they kind of were teasing it. But of course, they went with the Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin. At the same time, hindsight 2020, look what happened when Cedric and Cedric and Shelton. And you know, they're in the creative has nothing to do for you abyss right now. You know, so hindsight 2020 maybe it was been better for Ricochet, but you know, you could do a 3-man team. You know, with you know, MVP Lashley, and then you can have Ricochet, winning, trying to capture the United States title back. You know, oh yeah, that's an interesting comment. Yeah, I think
I definitely agree. I think Sheamus is very underrated, and I think him and Priest will put on a hell of a match. I look forward to that program. That was, you know, something else to look forward out of tonight's thing. Yeah, like Ricochet needs a manager or a mouthpiece or something, and an MVP in him, you know, it would work in my opinion. I definitely think it would work. So, you know, he needs somebody, and why not MVP? MVP was the star of the Thunderdome era, one of the stars. So, you know, that's so we fast forward to the next match, and that would be Natalya against Rhea, and that was the most surprising match of the night because that was a hell of a match also.
Right. That was good.
I mean, that was Rhea's best match since being called up, in my opinion.
Well, and I think we finally got some answers on this 50-50 booking, and I think they're going to finally – I think it's like they finally made their decision. We're going to make Charlotte the heel and Rhea baby. That's kind of what I gathered tonight. Almost like I say baby, but like a baby face with an edge a little bit, you know. Of course, she came attacked, but one of the most interesting things I have in my notes is that Rhea beat Natty clean. I was expecting some kind of hijinks happening, maybe with Charlotte, maybe with the Dana and Mandy Rose or something.
Mandy. Oh, sorry.
But she beat her clean, beat her with the finisher.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Look, you know, going back to what you said, they can make up their minds of who they want to be the heel and the face. But honestly, come this weekend when the fans are back, we'll know who the heel and the face is. they'll be the ones dictating who they want to cheer for and who they don't want to cheer for. And I mean, I don't think they're going to cheer Charlotte. I don't think the fans like Charlotte.
No.
She's very easy to boo. But again, great match by those two. and then Charlotte had to come in and attack, Rhea at the end, and weakening up her leg for the pay-per-view. And I don't know if that means that Rhea's going over. If it's one of those things, usually, the champ gets pinned before the pay-per-view. They never lose the belt, or whoever holds the belt at the end of the card at the end of the night never gets the belt. So, I mean, you could look at it that way, but I hope no matter what happens, no matter who wins, and I hope Rhea keeps the belt this Sunday. I hope it's the end of their program for a while, because I'm kind of.
I think Charlotte's going to win this weekend, and we're going to see Becky Lynch return.
She's going to return at some point soon. That's an excellent point. So we get this question from Chad at the Turnbuckle Tavern. Do you guys think the booking will drastically change with fans back? Honestly, I hope so, but I'd be a fool if I told you I thought so.
No, I don't think it'll drastically change. I think there will be a difference. I think naturally we'll kind of be tricked into there being a change with fans there.
Yeah, good point. I like the way you said that.
I think, it's like, oh, wow, this is Monday Night Raw's awesome. And we'll kind of have our blinders on. So it depends. Depends on what, it's all in their cards, I think they still need a little bit more star power in some areas, the women's division, both shows.
Well, SmackDown just got a nice infusion of women.
Right,
So
correct. You're right on that.
It's actually a little exciting right now.
Right, you're right on that. Correct. I think Raw needs some money. I know that's why I think Becky Lynch has got to come back, and that's why I think that's why they've put all those women, all the new women on SmackDown, and try to boost up the Raw women's division. Still, and I know you're going to agree with this. I still think there should be one champion.
I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, listen, I agree with what you're saying there, Chad. But the fans have been vocal, and they just don't listen.
I was say that.
It's like 3 years now since Vince and Triple H and Stephanie and Shane came out and said we're going to listen, and we're still waiting for it to happen.
Yeah,
like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing?
No, it's a content business, and I say that because head scratcher. They've now pulled 3 documentaries from the network, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. I don't know if they're saving that maybe for SummerSlam week or whatever, but it's a content business, and it's no longer about booking for the best content. Live content. So that's just my opinion.
No, I agree. And the other thing that was flaring to me tonight was how terrible the backstage announcers are now doing the interviews.
Yes.
Since Charlie left and Renee left, man, oof, these women are terrible.
Even the Irish fellow. They're lacking in a lot of different areas right now, and I don't know the best answer to fix that. Honestly,
go hire some women with talent or men with talent. You know how to interview.
Well, I mean, absolutely.
Renee and Charlie were entertaining, and these women are just painful when they're like doing their interviews. It's not entertaining at all. They look lost. It's not helping the wrestlers that they're interviewing. When you have somebody with charisma or something, it helps them. That's what was so great about Mean Gene and get me somebody in there that could do a friggin' interview and help build the wrestler and talk to him.
Right.
And
last week on Turnbuckle Tavern, Kyle Davis, I believe his name is. That was their interview. He said it perfectly how Mean Gene could help out the worst promo guy, make him look like a star because of the way he would bounce back off of what he was saying. They're just all they are is just a mic stand right now.
Yeah,
and
a mic stand would be an improvement.
Oh man, yeah. You're not wrong. But case in point, I mean, look, I've watched it several times back now over the last week, but the NWO with Hulk Hogan turning, Mean Gene going back and forth with Hulk.
Yeah.
That's just a perfect case right there. Renee did a fabulous job. Charlie, whenever she showed up on time, she did a fabulous job. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I don't like the announce team right now either. I don't like what's his name, the new guy, the lead announcer, MMA guy.
Oh, Jimmy Smith?
Jimmy Smith, yeah.
I like him. He's got a
I-
much better sound than
I'm
he
not a
gives
fan.
more of a believability sound. I like him. I don't have an issue with him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the team. I feel like Corey Graves right now is kind of phoning it in a little bit. I've kind of read some stuff where he's just.
But that
he's
leads
not
back to
happy.
that tweet that he tweeted out last week about this is not what he's meant to be doing, and
Right.
so I mean my biggest problem with Corey Graves is how he flip flops back and forth, and one day one match he's for the face, and the next match he's the heel announcer. Corey Graves should be the old school heel announcer, the whole card, and he would be much better.
Right. Hire pro wrestling people to commentate. Yeah. Hire pro wrestling people to write the show, bro.
Yeah. Well,
not Vince Russo, bro.
Yeah, well, she got fired, right? So
again, yeah. But that
I don't have
one.
I don't. Yeah, who knows how many more there are that just haven't come out and announced it. Hey, I don't know wrestling and what this guy's name is, but I'm writing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy. I really don't mind Jimmy Smith. I actually, over on the SmackDown side, I think Pat McAfee is pretty damn entertaining over there.
Oh, it's great. He's great.
Yeah, I don't. He makes. Well, I mean, it's hard to make Michael Cole better. I don't know. People say how great he is. I don't see it either in him. And
I don't want to say he's great, but he's fine. He's good.
Really?
Yeah, he's good. I mean,
really,
he's not a Tony Schiavone. He's not a Jim Ross. He's not a whoever else. Ian Riccaboni. But he's fine. I think he does an okay job. The thing with commentating, it's really hard. It's a really hard job. When you got a 76-year-old man like saying, "God damn it, we need more Snickers."
I mean, that's the thing that annoys me about Vince. And you love Vince for what he's done, but he got rid of he took Howard Finkel off. I guess he didn't like the way he looked. He didn't love what JR looked like, so he moved on from him, even though he was the best damn announcer there ever was. Vince makes these decisions that doesn't make sense. Go with when you have the guy like a great ring announcer like Howard Finkel or a commentator like JR. Why do you replace them? What's wrong with you? Who cares? The guy had Bell's palsy. He's still the best at his job.
Right.
He's still the greatest commentator ever that we'll ever see, and he decided to replace him.
Right.
How many years ago now? It's not like it's at least 10 years ago.
Oh, well, going back to that draft of 2008.
Yeah.
Where they did that's when it started.
Yeah.
And it was actually supposed to start before that, if I remember right, but they put him in the Hall of Fame, so they gave him basically another year.
Yeah.
After that, in the Raw position,
Yeah.
He wasn't happy. I think Grilling JR, they have an episode about that. He came out of shock. So I was surprised for him. So
yeah, so we wandered off a little bit. Let's go back to Rob. My biggest problem with the show is it was just a mess. Like the first half of the show was totally, terrible. Then you had those nice 2 matches back to back. Can we get some consistency? Can we not make it feel like 8 different people wrote the show and it was just thrown together? Because that's what it felt like.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting a great show tonight.
I really wasn't either, because it was taped last week. This is the last show before live fans are back. So, they're probably filming it and they're thinking, okay, we can't wait for next week. we're getting back to the fans. But like I said, we had 2 matches. If you want to watch something from tonight, go back and watch Morrison versus Ricochet in the Falls Count Anywhere match. Make sure you watch Rhea Ripley versus Natalya because, like I said, Rhea Ripley's best match since being called up to the main roster, and that's all you got to watch. That's all you got to watch.
Yeah.
So give me your rating for tonight's show. 1 to 5 stars. What are you going to rate it?
2 stars.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking the same thing as great as Ricochet and Morrison was and the women's match was, I can only give it a 2-star because of how painful it felt to even just get to that part of the show. But next week we got fans back. We have them coming off of that'll be the first show off of a pay-per-view with fans back. Who knows what to expect? I'm pretty sure, no matter what happens next week, check it out. But I'm not going to say to people, don't go judging by next week's show because everybody's going to be firing on all cylinders just because they have fans back. I'm sure they're going to try to put on a much better show. Let's just hope it continues. Let's hope we see some solid booking. We'll see what Stephanie was talking about with the new presentations. I don't really care about presentations. I want to see good stories. I want to see good promos. I want to see good wrestling. That's what I love about wrestling. I don't need, all these special effects and shit appearing when somebody's walking down to the ring. I don't need that. Give me the stories. Give me the promos. Give me wrestling. Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Yep. Real quick, I also want to kind of mention too, rest in peace to Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, if I can say his name correctly. Just a great guy, great performer. Was one part of the WrestleMania, the main event of the first WrestleMania. So
main event of the first WrestleMania, yeah, like it was. I grew up with him. I grew up watching wrestling in the golden era. So. Paul Orndorff was a big part of that. Every time he got hit in the head, he would have a heel and a face change. But at least there was a reason why he got hit, with the cast at WrestleMania 1, and he was a good guy. Then he tags with Hogan against Stud and Bundy. He falls off the apron, he hits his head, and he's a bad guy again. He has that epic feud with Hogan, and to have the match in Toronto, and they sell out that. Orndorff, one of the best wrestlers to never hold a world title.
Yeah,
that's for sure. He probably didn't even need it. That's how good he was.
Yeah.
Back in those days, they specifically didn't put the titles on guys who didn't need it. And Orndorff could work. He worked like he could work the crowd over. Don't call me Paula, and he would go nuts.
Yeah, he was good, man. And I love that theme song, his WCW theme song. Wonderful. They call me Mr. Wonderful. So simple, so perfect, really, honestly. I did see a stat. I'm trying to look up real quick where I saw it from. I believe, gosh darn it. I wish I could find who I saw that. Saw it on Instagram. But all 6 of Hogan's opponents have now all passed away from WrestleMania 1 through 6.
King Kong Bundy's not dead, is he?
Yes, he is.
What?
Yeah. I think he passed away 2019, 2020, something like that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So Andre, Ultimate Warrior, and I guess Sergeant Slaughter was WrestleMania 7.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I wouldn't want to be Sergeant Slaughter right now. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Let's see.
But thoughts and prayers to the family and the friends of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Thank you for entertaining us for so long. We could do a whole thing about your career. I'm hoping, I was hoping they were going to be able to edit a video packaging tonight. I'm sure there'll be one up on WWE.com very soon. I'm hoping the network adds a collection of his. Because if you don't know Mr. Wonderful, make sure you check it out. Because like I said, he can work a crowd. And if you remember his Hall of Fame speech, he started doing it right there on stage. So
now Steve Austin learned a lot from him. Well, he learned a lot. He rode with Orndorff a lot, and it was him. He always mentioned it was him, Orndorff, and Rick Rude in the car together. So
wow,
the knowledge in that car. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I know.
So, all right, guys, I think that's it today. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with a live crowd, not for us, but for Monday Night Raw. J-Bone, tell them where they can find you.
Find me at Coming Down the Aisle on the Instagram, Twitter at down_while. Today, we dropped the list, which is a bonus episode. The OG Fit Kids on there, along with the Ultimate Miles. We looked at the top 10 factions, and in this week's interview is the King of the One Night Stand, Jock Sampson. He talks about his upcoming match with Danhausen.
Wow, very nice, very nice. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the OG Fit Kid. If you are not following the Turnbuckle Tavern on YouTube to get alerts, make sure you follow. You hit subscribe right over there, wherever it is. Make
Somewhere
sure.
around there.
I hope I point out it. Turnbuckle Tavern on Twitter, Turnbuckle Tavern on Instagram. Thank you for joining us, guys. Until next time, peace.